I don't know if that one person that I'm seeing is me or if there's somebody else here. But if there's somebody else here, do you have a question for the cards? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yo do 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 do. Hi, I see that it looks like somebody has arrived, although I don't know. It could be counting me, although it wasn't a second ago. However, if you're here and you have a question for the cards, spit it out and let me know. Hi, I can't tell whether or not the YouTube is counting me as being here and saying 1, or whether somebody has just joined me. But if you've just joined me, please, if you have a question for the cards, let me know and I'll do a reading for you. Are you there? Can you hear me? I'm not sure if the microphone's working or not. Help me out with the sound check. Let me know if you can hear me. Is there somebody there who just doesn't want to talk, or am I alone? Page of Swords. I think you're there. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Do you have a question for the cards? Can you hear me? Oh, good. You can hear me. That's a good news. What's your question? Do you have a specific question about it, or are you just looking to see if there's anything going to be happening in the future? Near future. I'm good. How are you? Take your time. It's just you and me at the moment. Usually when I do this, people sort of swarm in. I think they're out there looking, but for free tarot readings. But tonight seems to be a slow night. I'm glad to hear that you're great. Alrighty, Gods is fair. Next step in life. The Seven of Wands. I would say that your next step in life involves having to fight for something. Not necessarily physically. Maybe it's just that what you want or what you need isn't going to be readily available, and you have to work really hard at it and maybe overcome some opposition. But in the picture, the guy doing the fighting has the high ground, which means he's going to win. It's just going to be tough. So the next step is going to be kind of tough, but it'll be worth doing because you're probably going to win the fight. Carol, how does Cancer feel about you? I get the world doesn't necessarily suggest that he's madly in love with you or that he's thinking about getting married or anything anytime soon. However, it seems like he's having a really good time with you at the moment, or she, these days. Having a good time, enjoying the relationship, enjoying the association. However, the world is also symbolic of the planet Saturn, which means restriction, which means that there is the very distinct possibility of a commitment sometime soon. Hi, Hearts Love Joe. How does Jackson feel towards you currently? Oh, thanks, Hearts Love Joe. I appreciate the subscription and the liking. How does Jackson feel towards you? I get the Hanged Man. I think he feels restrained, but the Hanged Man is also a card that has to do with water, and water is emotion. So although maybe he or she is feeling a little restrained at the moment, it's because his own or her own emotions are causing him to feel linked to you. So he might not, or she might not have specifically delineated what he or she feels for you at the moment, but he or she does in fact feel for you and feels bound to you. Jackson B, how would Michelle respond if I were to send a text this week? I get the Devil. I'm going to draw a second card on that, and I get the Nine of Wands. I think that she thinks that you're probably only interested in sex. So if you're not, you need to make it clear to her that you're looking for something more than that. Carol again, how does Virgo feel about you? I get the inverted Two of Swords. Virgo's kind of all wrapped up in him or herself at the moment. All that water behind is emotion. The swords are mind. Got the blinders on, upside down. I think that Virgo is wrapped up in his or herself and is just not paying a lot of attention to you at the moment. Hearts Love, he hasn't responded back to you yet. Since you congratulated him, can you check and see if he'll reply back to you? Sure thing. I get the Six of Swords. That suggests that he is like away or something, like not necessarily on a trip, but either work or his family or some sort of other relationship has his attention away from the phone or the computer at the moment. And that's why he hasn't responded. But I'll pull another card and I get the inverted Five of Swords. it suggests that she's wrapped up, or that he's wrapped up in something that's taking a lot of attention and that requires him to be very concentrated and focused, and that it's a delicate situation. And it seems to me that he's probably just not focused on texts and things like that at the moment. Heart's Love, you're welcome, Jackson. And Heart's Love, you think that he may be avoiding you. I get the 8 of coins. I suspect that maybe he is avoiding you, but I again suspect that it probably has to do with work or something that he has to be doing rather than something to do with you. He plays sports. Hi, Golden Moment. Hello. Heart's Love, he plays sports. It could be that. It could be that he needs to be practicing really hard or trying out, or that his schedule is really demanding at the moment. But I definitely get the impression that he's wrapped up in something else in the moment, and it isn't specifically to do with you, and that he's agreeing with you. However, one of the things I would say is that if you really, really are looking for this guy to like be madly in love with you or something, then he's probably not, if he's letting these other things distract him. If, on the other hand, you're just looking to get together, have a couple of drinks or a cup of coffee, get to know each other a bit better, then you're going to need to be patient a little bit. Thank you, Golden Moment. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Carol. I'm glad to hear that, Heart's Love. It's good to get that sort of feedback. I trust the cards and I trust myself, but it's always good to hear. Terry, hi, Terry. My Gmail for PayPal is actually on the bottom, or it's somewhere in the description, but it is paypal.me/FairDay. That's a capital F and a capital D 32. And I appreciate your asking. Reminds me, I should refresh that screen so that it doesn't sign me out. Whoops. And I'm back. Okay. Golden Moment. Will somebody be coming to assist and help with your business? I get the Devil, and I would suspect that that's a yes, but that it's going to be a tricky situation. Like, it isn't necessarily going to be somebody who you can trust or who's really going to have your best interest in mind, but it's a difficult call because the Devil is sometimes interpreted as an illusion, and you might suspect somebody who actually does have your best interest in heart. So I'm going to take another card to clarify. I get the Knight of Swords. Somebody is going to come to help, but it's somebody who's going to be very aggressive and somebody who's very smart. And I think that the person can actually help you, but I think that you're going to have to watch everything that he does to make sure that his desire to help himself doesn't end up excluding you. Yeah, Terry, my email, you can reach me at, hold on, I will paste it into the screen for you, and that is, well, of course, it's going to take time, isn't it? This is the sort of thing that a real professional would have already out there, wouldn't he? Well, there you go. Okay. I'm all over the place here. See, somebody actually wants to buy a reading, and I'm completely confused. You're welcome, Golden Moment. Okay, so what do you want the reading on, Terry? Do you have a question, Terry, for your 10-card reading? Yeah, I saw that. I guess going to look at PayPal and going to retrieve my email address to paste it in here, probably I just had too much going at once. But if you've got a question, let me know, and I'll do it now. If you wanted to email it to me and have me get back to you later, I can do that too. Up to you. If you don't mind having the reading in front of all these people, if on the other hand you would prefer it to be private and you want to email me to make some other arrangements, that's cool too. Carol, based on the cards that I already saw, he probably is going to be out for himself, but he's going to be good at what he does. So if you pay attention and mind what he does, he could still be useful to you. Hearts, love, do I still think that he likes you? I get the inverted 2 of Wands. I suspect that he wants to have a greater deal of control in the relationship, and that his like or dislike for you might be in whether or not he feels like he has control. I would suspect that if that's going to be his attitude, it might not be for the best for you to want him to like you, because he's really probably only going to be liking you if he gets to be like completely in charge. Terry, you'd like to know, since JC and you last conversed, how does he feel about your connection? Okay. Let me give a few extra shuffles for Terry here. And the card that's going to represent you, Terry, is the 10 of Swords. And that suggests in relation to this connection, you're very concerned. Like, you have this feeling like maybe it's dead, and the reason that you want this reading is because you're very concerned, and you're looking for some kind of hope that your feeling is wrong. However, what you're showing him isn't this fear. What you're showing him is the Chariot, which suggests that you're showing him that you're confident, you're strong. The Chariot is also the astrological sign Cancer, which is like a hard shell on the outside and soft on the belly. So I get the impression at the moment that you're showing him that you're, a fighter, and that you're strong, and that you can defend yourself, and that could be possibly to him a sign that you're not as open to things as he would like, or that you're not as receptive to letting him in. But your obstacles at the moment are the inverted tower. That suggests that currently there is a lot of stuff going on in your life that's kind of taking pokes at your ego, maybe ripping down some of the structures of your life. You're going through hard times. Things that you're focused on or that are important to you are falling apart. And that's not like a unique thing at the moment, giving a COVID lockdown for a year, and now COVID resurfacing, and astrologically things are going really crazy these days. Like, all of the outer planets are in retrograde. Everybody's sort of getting their ego knocked at these days. But it looks to me like you're feeling it really hard, and therefore you're doubting the connection, and you're doubting yourself, and you're doubting him, and that's a real obstacle for you. It's not allowing you to make a clear judgment, because so much is poking at you that it's easy for you to believe the negative. Um, the best you can arrive at in the situation is the Seven of Swords, which on the surface is not a particularly good card. It makes you look like maybe when it comes to this, you aren't the most straightforward person. Like maybe you're a little bit on the sneaky side, but I think that could be a misinterpretation. I think that a lot of times people are in romance, are, especially when they're afraid, will maybe try to test their partner a bit, find out more, like try to trick them maybe a little bit to see how they respond, get a feeling for them. And the thing about this particular card is that um, this is like the night before a big battle, and this guy is sneaking away with most of the enemy's weapons. It seems to me like the best you can arrive at this situation is that you can disarm him through subtlety, and that um, that gives you a chance. That isn't necessarily the most positive thing in the world, but it isn't like dead and over yet. There's still some things that you can do. What you have to do to get there is the Hierophant. In ceremonial magic, the Hierophant is the revealer of the mysteries. He's the one who brings spiritual truths to the table and reveals them to people. It says to me that you need to take it to another level. You need to really examine whether or not this is a guy who you are really simpatico with. Do you really have things in common? I mean, I know they say opposites attract, but I've been married for 31 years, and I can tell you that the more you have in common, the easier life is going to be in a relationship. So I think that you're called upon, before you make your next move, to examine how much you have in common, before you can actually make a determination of how close you are. The immediate past is the Page of Wands inverted. And the Page of Wands, this is in the Rider-Waite deck, it's the Page. I actually use a lot of decks. I just happen to have the Rider-Waite out now. Really, the Page of Wands is the Princess of Wands. The Princess of Wands is, if you'll pardon the expression, a little on the horny side. It suggests to me that maybe the relationship started out as being a lot of chemistry, a lot of maybe physical, romantic stuff, a lot of touchy-feely stuff, maybe even sexy stuff. But that seems to have gone away, which is maybe the reason that you're really concerned. So the next card I get is the Four of Swords, and that's the immediate future. And that suggests a bit of a rest. That the two of you both need to take a step back, take a couple of deep breaths, clear your mind, and completely assess the situation. Now, if he's not receptive to you and you have to do that on your own, that tells you something. If you can't take that deep breath together, clear your mind, and then discuss it, then maybe your deep breath has to tell you that you're just not simpatico anymore. You asked specifically about the connection, so the reading is specifically about the connection. Um, if you can't take a moment together to relax and talk about it, then maybe you need to take a moment and relax and realize that the connection doesn't seem to be there. However, we've still got a few more cards to go, and that doesn't mean that it isn't going to reconnect. Your environment in the matter is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is good luck for everything except weight loss. That suggests, in relation to this connection, but in relation to your entire life, there's actually some really good stuff going on, and things do have a tendency to break your way. So there's a good chance of reestablishing this connection, but this card is so lucky right now that if there's anything about this guy at all that you don't particularly like, you're so lucky right now that I would say that there are other connections around you at the moment that you could make like that if that's what you wanted to do. You got to really like this guy because you have other opportunities right here, right now. Influences on you is the King of Pentacles. That suggests to me that there's really something physical about this guy that's attractive to you. That this guy just is attractive to you either physically or possibly because of his financial situation. And that's where the whole connection is. Your fears or hopes are Temperance. The Rider-Waite card is not the best card on this. In a lot of versions of this, the angel is pouring water on a fire symbol and fire on a water symbol. It's an attempt to achieve a real balance. It suggests to me that your hope is to move beyond that physical thing and for this to be more of a real, deeper, emotional connection. And last but not least, the Nine of Swords. It suggests that you're worried enough about this, or you think about this enough, and that it's causing you enough distress that probably the connection is not going to work out because probably you're sending too much feedback that says you're too tensed about this, you're too expectant about this, you need more contact back from him to reassure you that you're too nervous. I think that's going to be a real turnoff to him, and that's going to mean that the connection doesn't work out. However, nothing here is written in stone. This isn't like the be-all, end-all. This isn't the word of God. I would say that if you can calm down, take that breather, strive for that balance, try to not let it affect you so much, that maybe you'll be able to reestablish it based on a one-to-one thing rather than just on a nervous kind of thing. I get the impression that the biggest obstacle right now is probably your own tension, fear, that kind of thing. Does any of that make any sense? Does that read well to you? I'm sorry that it wasn't the most positive of readings. One of the hardest things for a tarot reader is we always want to say nothing but good, super, ultra positive things. But I mean it when I say it's not written in stone and that it can be changed, and that um, you know, you can change it. That there's hope. There was not a single card here that said it's definitely over. So if I were you, I'd be looking to like learn how to meditate or take some long hot bubble baths. Yeah, energy changes. And energy changes energy changes are tough for everybody, but the entire world right now is going through so much crap. Um, if you look at the astrology for over a year, for like 2 years now, it's been obvious that everything is been hurting for everybody. Um, yeah, breathe apart and just chill. Um, it's that's going to be the best thing for you either way. But like I said, pay attention to that Jupiter card, the Wheel of Fortune in your environment right now. Right now, things can really go your way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be this guy. You can have just about anything you want right now. Christine, does the Sagittarius have an interest? Let's see. Oops. Christine, I get the Two of Swords. Second time this has come up tonight, although this time it's right side up. I think that probably the Sagittarius is more interested in himself right now, that he's being very reflective. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's a narcissist. It means that he's going through something in his life right now where he's being self-reflective and he's being very mental, and that's kind of blocking the emotion, which is where I think the interest you're looking for probably is. Um, but the fact that he's a Sagittarius means that um, the way to get his interest is to try and engage him in like some sort of philosophical speculation or ideas about travel. Find out what he's interested in and spark conversations that might draw him out of himself a bit, and it might help him to reflect about himself. I'm going to pull another card, and it suggests it's the inverted Five of Coins. That suggests that right now he's actually feeling a little on the lonely side, or she is feeling a little on the lonely side. Maybe doesn't recognize everything that's going on around him. So, although he might not be real interested in you right now because he's sort of internalizing things at the moment, that internalizing thing is making him feel a lack of other people in his life. So I would say you've got a chance to get his interest, but don't try and get his interest by saying, "Hey, look at me." Try and get his interest by saying, "Hey, what are you interested in?" And, "Oh, I'm interested in that too." I know that's sort of game playing, but that's going to be the way to get this guy's attention. Um, Hearts love. I get the impression that you're interested in whether or not Jackson still likes you. Hearts love. I get the Knight of Swords. He's interested in you mentally and really interested in you a lot. But there's no indication that that's romantic or physical. He thinks that you're an interesting person. So you need to find out what about you he thinks is interesting and play on that. Mani, I'm pronouncing that right. Mani. What's meant to happen between C and U? He's a Virgo and you're a Gemini. Let's see. Whoops. Mainly, I get the 5 of Cups, which looks like disappointment. It looks to me like he's very, very, very disappointed in something right now. Virgos are very, very particular and very picky. They have to have things a certain way. And it looks to me like he's feeling emotionally, or she's feeling emotionally, or he's feeling emotionally distressed at the moment. But I suspect that it's because you're doing something that's not his way. Given that you're a Gemini, maybe you're acting like you're doing it his way, but then you're doing it your own way when he's not paying attention. There are some issues there, and he's really disappointed. But that's not the be all and end all. You can probably overcome that with a little effort and talking it out. Hi, Dreamy Rose. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. Christine, any love coming towards you this year? Well, the saddest thing is, when you think about it, there isn't a whole lot of this year left. God, where's it gone? 2 full years of COVID. Jeez. The Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands doesn't suggest that there's any love coming to you this year, but it suggests that there might be some passion coming to you this year. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily realize that there's a difference, but if love is what you're looking for, then this could be disappointing. But if you don't mind a little bit of fun and a little bit of passion and a little bit of a tryst, I think you can still have a lot of fun before the end of the year. You're welcome, Heartslow. Hi, Littlefoot. Hi, Twinkle Twinkle. Dreamy Rose, will I be happy with the manifestation results from the candles I'll be using? That's an interesting question. And we don't necessarily have to do tarot card readings here. We can talk about magic if you like. I am a ceremonial magician. I was initiated in like 1992, but I've really sort of been doing magic all my life. So I'd be happy to talk to you about magic. However, the card I get is the 8 of Swords. That's a difficult one. It suggests that you won't be happy with the results. However, that might be all your mental state. If you look at the card really close, right, it looks like he's all bound up and can't move because he's got the swords around him and he might cut himself. But his feet are touching water and he can feel that water. And if he follows that emotional stream, it's going to take him free from those swords. So it might seem like you're not getting the results you want and you might be unhappy about it. But if you spend some time with it and think about it and work with it and deal with what comes up, it might end up taking you where you want to go. Hi, Twinkle. Sure. You can get a card. And thank you for liking and sub. I appreciate that. Hi, Rada. Yes, you can ask a question. Christine, you're welcome. Doll, I hope I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. You have a free reading, please. Sure, I'll pull a card for you. How would Eels react to me quitting my position as an admin to his page? That's an interesting question. That's the first question I've had in about a week that doesn't have to do with romance. I know romance is important, but it's kind of refreshing to see something about work. I get the King of Swords. I think he's going to understand. I think he's going to appreciate it. I don't think he's going to be happy about it. I'm going to pull another one. I get the inverted page of coins. I don't think he's going to like you very much afterwards. Radha, what's coming next in social media career? Thank you. Well, you're welcome in advance. I get the Chariot. Um, I think what's coming next in your social media career is going to be something homey. Like you're going to be talking about something that you're really interested in, that's really close to you, that's close to home for you, and that the fact that you're interested in it and that you love it and that it's all about what's close to you is going to give you an extra energy, and people are going to be attracted to that energy. Um, the one thing I would warn you about is it's going to be easy for you to put on a shell where you're trying to be too professional, and the sort of people who you're attracting based on this are going to be wanting to see your heart and your soft underbelly, and you need to think about whether or not you want to expose yourself that much to them. Dreamy Rose, well, we're all sort of up in our head. When you think about it, everything we see, everything we hear, everything that we sense gets filtered through our senses into our brain as electrical impulses, and our brain puts together these pictures and these sensations. And so we're all always way too up in our head. The trick is to try and imagine yourself in the other guy's shoes, and trying to imagine what it feels like to be him, and then determine whether or not you really want to be involved in that or not. Lisa Mia, hey, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. What month will you meet the individual that will accommodate me on my next year? Well, that's kind of timing is not the thing that I'm best at, but I will give it a go. So, individual, when will you meet the individual that will accommodate you on your trip next year? I get the Page of Cups, and that's making me think. I want to say let's see. Maybe in the spring sometime. So March or April. Let's see. Trying to be more active. Well, that's a good thing. Active is good, but don't be so active that you don't get some rest once in a while. If you're so active that you burn yourself out, you're not going to do any good for anybody. On the other hand, accomplishing things, active is the only way to be if you're going to actually accomplish anything. Dalilia, thank you so much for your help. Time and energy much needed and appreciated. I already liked and subscribed. I'm grateful. Thank you very much, Dal. I appreciate that. Rada, okay, you see, and thank you. You're welcome. Carol, what's going on at this house, the energy? Well, the energy is probably the easiest thing to see. The hardest thing is probably to determine what to do with the energy, or how to deal with it, or what it means in the long term. But the energy itself is pretty easy to get. So I get the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands in the Hermetic Kabbalah, 9 is Yesod, which is the moon, and wands are fire. So it suggests, and fire is willpower and spirituality. So it suggests that the energy in the house at the moment involves willpower and spirituality, but that, like the moon, it waxes and wanes. So the trick for you in using that to your advantage is going to be learning the pattern, and seeing when the tide is going out and when the tide is coming in, getting the rhythm of it, and catching the wave. Littlefoot, does Mia think I'm a robot stuck in my head? Laugh out loud. That's an interesting way to put the question, and I really like it because I see readings all the time where people don't think that somebody else is a robot stuck in their head, and they are. So it'll be interesting for me to see whether or not somebody actually thinks that somebody is. I get the Fool inverted, and I would say no. She doesn't think you're a robot stuck in your head, but she does think you're a klutz who walks into walls and walks off cliffs. However, since it's inverted, she doesn't think that you're dangerous. She just thinks she wonders whether or not you're just very unlucky or don't pay enough attention or maybe are a little stupid. But it isn't as dramatic as it would be as if it were upside down, which is really disruptive. You're welcome, Leah. Anna, hello. Carol, you're welcome again. Anna, what are the Leo real intentions with me and what isn't he telling me? That's actually two questions. The Leo's real intentions with you are the Seven of Coins. I get the impression that he's trying to build something for the future with you. He's still working on it. He's paying attention to it. He's looking at it. He's judging it. He's thinking about it. Not there yet. What isn't he telling you? The Nine of Cups. This is a weird one, but I get the impression that what he's not telling you is that he isn't sexually attracted to you. And I'm sorry about that. That's a sucky thing to tell somebody, and I hate to do it. Can you Priya? Is it Can you Priya? I want to pronounce your name right. I know I'm an American, and Americans are stupid, and they get everything wrong. But I want to be right. Is it Can you Priya? Hi, what kind of person is coming towards me in love for rest of the year? Okay, I get the 10 of Cups. The person coming towards you, Kanya Prai, is a person who is looking for happily ever after. What we call happily ever after. You see the card, there's a man and a woman holding each other, and there's kids and a rainbow over a house with cups, which is emotion. Somebody who's looking for love in the long term. You're looking at somebody who wants to get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. Whether or not that's going to happen, whether or not you and he will or she will match and be simpatico and it'll work out, that I can't tell from just this card. But that's going to be what this person is looking for. Radha, can you ask a question about love? Yes, you can. Can you Priya? Can you Priya? Can you Priya? That's actually a beautiful sounding name. Can you Priya? I used to know somebody named Priya once, although it was spelled differently. And thank you for telling me. Littlefoot, hi, smiling to you too. Can you Priya? Good. I want a commitment. Well, good. That's good. Now the trick is to see whether or not you're actually both, have things in common and actually enjoy each other's company. Anna La Rain, can you please clarify the Nine of Cups in reverse on what he isn't telling me? Because he actually has been hounding to be with him, intimately with him, but I've been avoiding him. So a clarification on that is the Six of Swords, which doesn't really help me much. The Six of Swords traditionally has involved somebody going away. like on a trip. So it could be a vacation, but the clue for me is it's the swords. Swords are mental. It's all about the mind. So I'm thinking he's got a disconnect between his body and his mind. And I know when you're talking about sexuality, you're thinking primarily about the body. But I think if a year online has taught us anything, it's that the mind, the brain, it might be like one of the most important sexual organs we've got going for us. So I think it's probably his body is looking for the good time, but his mind is not particularly satisfied beyond what he sees with his eyes. Um, that doesn't mean you can't convince him. That doesn't mean you can't show him sides of you that are going to be more attractive to you. But it sounds like from what you're saying about him hounding you to be with him intellectually or physically, if he isn't intellectually or if he isn't mentally there for you at the same time, then you might want to think twice. Priya, are you able to pull another card? Sure. Another question or on the same one? Given the fact of how fast people are moving past me, I don't know. Oh, for this person. Okay, that's right. You wanted to know about this person coming for the new year. So I get the 9 of Swords. It suggests that this is a person who is currently troubled somewhat. He's having a hard time sleeping. There's something going on in his life that's making him very tense, um, making it hard for him to, be living his life to the fullest. So when you meet him, he's going to be in need of somebody to help him unwind, relax, stop thinking about his problems, think about his present problems, his past problems, think about the future. So be aware that he's going to be somebody who's coming to you with baggage and that you're going to need to help him get into the present and the future because right now he's too worried about what's gone before and what's happening now. Hi, Wise. How are you? Rada, what's my friend's next towards me? I honestly don't know what's my friend's next towards me means. I know that we might be having a problem with me being an American and being stuck in English. I mean, we Americans are known for our egotism and thinking that everybody needs to speak English, but I think I need some clarification as to what's my friend next towards me means. Oh, we are in no context, so you're looking to see what the next thing that's going to happen between you is. Whether or not there's going to be contact, that kind of thing. So I get the Page of Cups. Your friend is very emotional. I think emotional enough that he or she will reach out. The card suggests a woman, so I'm thinking that that it's a she, and that she's very emotional towards you. But she's looking at the fish popping out of the cup rather than reaching into the cup. I think she wants you to get in touch first, but that when you do, her emotions will be grateful and happy and pour out at you and be happy that you made the effort. Anna, you're welcome. I hope that it made sense and that it helped you. And you, Priya, I hope that gives you some insight that will be of use when the person comes along. Sweet Pea, hello yourself. Would you be open to giving me a quick personality profile? Personality profile is a few cards. I think that it's been a while since I refreshed PayPal, so I don't know if it's actually still up at the moment. No, it's not. Let me quickly toss that in. I'm trying to do a lot of people and be as entertaining to as many people as possible. And a personality reading is going to take some time. I would be willing to do it if you are willing to pay a fee for a more in-depth reading. I hate to say that. I don't want to seem like a greedy person. But I'm really, 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 really in need of, additional income at the moment. But that said, if you want to discuss it in email, I gave my email address earlier, so it's further up in the chat. It's also on the description of the page. Send me an email. We'll discuss it. Maybe I can do it pro bono for you. Maybe you're willing to pay something. I don't know, but it's a personality profile is a bit more in depth than what I was planning on tonight, or at least here. I'm willing to do it here in front of everybody if you're willing to do it in front of everybody, but it might be better if you want to email me, or if you would like to get a more in-depth reading. Can you is it going to be past or a new person? That's a good question. Canyon Priya, I get the Tower, which is, in the most circumstances, not a good card. But on this question, past or future, I'm going to say it's future. Or I'm past. It's somebody that you know from your past, but it's somebody that you didn't like. And it's going to completely surprise you that this person turns out to be somebody who's interested in you and that has this attitude. It's going to be somebody who completely you don't suspect. You don't. It's going to take you completely by surprise. But it is somebody from the past. Radha, I think that the next move isn't going to be towards you. I think it's going to be you towards the person. You need to be the one to make the next move towards this person. But this person is going to be grateful for it, happy for it, and very happy that you made the move. But you're going to need to be the one who gets in touch, makes the contact. Okay, hold on. And you're welcome, Rana. A twinkle, twinkle, drama in my job. Will it stop? I just work, mind my business. A lot of gossip and instigating. It's so toxic, but love my work, not the drama. I know what you mean, twinkle, twinkle. I've had to deal with some serious office politics over the last 2 years, which have been pretty crappy. And I know exactly what you mean. So will it stop? The experience of my life is that it never stops. What happens is that you develop a way to stand outside of it and not let it get to you. But I will pull a card in answer to your question. I get the Hierophant. That doesn't tell me it's going to stop, but it tells me that whoever's in charge, the manager or the manager's boss, somebody's going to notice how toxic it's getting and take steps to stop it. Radha, is your friend stalking you? Well, first of all, if the person is stalking you, he or she is not your friend. Friends don't stalk people. Friends don't stalk friends. But I will pull a card, and I get the Page of Cups again. The Page of Cups is not a card that stalks people, but it is a card that loves people. I would suggest that this person has feelings for you and that therefore they're interested and they're showing interest, but I wouldn't say that the person is necessarily stalking at this point. That said, if you don't return the person's feelings, God knows in the future that could turn into stalking. YouTube knows TV. Hello there. Is there a free list? There isn't a list. I'm trying to answer everybody's questions as we go along. I'm just doing between 1 and 3 cards. It's more like 1 or 2, usually just 1. If you want more in depth, I have information on the page about how you can pay me or how you can write to me. But yeah, the free questions for anybody who asks, if so long as it's just as long as I can answer in a pull or two. Sweet pea, I'm glad. That makes me feel good. Twinkle twinkle. Oh, is that a Pikachu? I don't recognize that emoticon. Is that a Pikachu? I always like Misty in Pokemon. Twinkle twinkle. Yes, hope so. Good. YouTube knows TV. Does my past Cancer person still have feelings for me, Capricorn? Well, I don't know that a Cancer is always going to be completely appreciative of a Capricorn, but we will take a look. So I get the Wheel of Fortune, and that's a yes. The Wheel of Fortune is good for everything except weight loss. So, yes, your past Cancer does have feelings for you. Twinkle, twinkle, they even talk about the boss. Well, that's going to make the boss particularly unhappy about it when it comes to his attention, isn't it? I would not suggest you bring it to his attention. The Hierophant suggests he knows or she knows or is going to know without the intervention. My experience is that when a boss finds out people are talking about him, they'll take some sort of action. You're welcome, Twinkle Twinkle. YouTube knows. Alrighty then. Cool. Radha. Okay, you see, I got hurt by him, so I told him he was trying to play games. Now I don't have his number. Well, do you know anybody who knows him? Do you know any family members? Do you know him online? Let me see if the cards will give us a hint about how you can get in touch. The Six of Cups. That suggests that in the past, maybe you've given him a gift, or he's given you a gift, or if you're a she and he's a he, I don't know. There's been some sort of exchange where in the past where maybe you have his address. You could do a snail mail. The other thing would be this is online. You know his real name. You know what city he lives in. Sixes. The number 6 has to do with rulership and the way the universe is set up. I would be willing to bet that if you do some Googling around, if you know his name, the town he's in, and it's not a common name, you might be able to figure out the address or a phone number. J Street High. Will I finally find a real love, meet a good man soon? Oh, let's ask the cards. The 10 of Cups. I'm going to call that a yes. Radha, any idea when he might reach out? If you leave it up to him to do the reaching out, I'm going to say the Lovers. I'm going to say that's probably April. Victoria. Hello. Hi. What did Al and Jeff think about me tonight? Al thinks that you're high maintenance. Jeff thinks you're hot. Christine, what does Sal think of you? The Emperor, he thinks you're too smart. Denise, peace and blessings to you too. Thank you very much. J Street, you're welcome. Denise, ask away. Vincent's current thoughts about you. Vincent's current thoughts about you, the Knight of Cups. He thinks that you are too emotional. I'm starting to get more into this flow of too many people, so I'm sorry if I'm short with anybody. I don't mean to be, but I'm suddenly getting the images and the answers and the cards much quicker. Calum, general. Well, general to me means like an in-depth reading about what's going on in your life at the moment. I've got a card on the page and an email address somewhere else in the chat where we could discuss arranging for a general reading. But if you mean just a one-card pull in general, what I get is the Magician. Generally speaking, right now, you are in a position where you are looking at everything that's going on in your life and thinking that you can put this together like a puzzle, like you understand it all and you think that you can manipulate it, control it, put it all together. And the card doesn't tell me whether or not that's going to work out for you, but it suggests that you really do have a lot of mental skill going for you, particularly with communication. Like you can be talking to a lot of people right now and coordinating a lot of things and moving things along. And that's what I get for a general. You're welcome, Victoria. Rena, hi. You're new. Everybody's new. I'm new too. How does it feel that he hasn't spoken to me at all today? How does N feel that he hasn't spoken to me at all today? I will ask. Seven of Swords. N is feeling restricted. N doesn't know what to do. N feels like he's blinded and his senses have been cut off and he doesn't know what to do about it, and it's a bad feeling. He's not feeling good. However, I would point out that the person in the card is standing on water, and although he's blindfolded and bound up and surrounded by swords, and it looks like he'd walk into them and cut himself, his feet can trace his way through by feeling the water underneath him. Water is in motion. Allow him to feel this way too long, and he's going to find his way somewhere else, or she. Let's see. Okay, I've sort of lost track of where people are in the reading. Jay says, thank you. You're welcome. I think next was, does Brandon like me platonic, romantic, copacetic things? Hi, copacetic things. Does he like you platonic? The Eight of Wands is about communication. He likes the verbal back and forth. He likes you platonically. That doesn't mean he doesn't like you romantically too. I get the Judgment on romance. It can go either way on romance. He is still thinking about romance. If you want him to think about you romantically, you need to push him over the edge on it. If you prefer the platonic and not the romantic, you need to make that clear. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Let's see. I'm sorry if I skipped anybody in jumping to that one. Ranch. I'm not going to answer that one just based on the name. And that's the bottom. Are people still here? I've only got one person still here. So if you're the one person still here, please feel free to ask something. Kanya Priya, you're the only one still here. What's R currently thinking about me, and what's his next move towards me? What is R thinking about you? The Magician. R thinks that you're very smart. R thinks that you're in control of things. R thinks that you're a little bit on the manipulative side. But R thinks you're a great communicator. That's what you've got to use. Your communication skills to draw out. So you don't have to come to me and ask what he thinks, that you can ask him what he thinks. You can ask him what he feels. He thinks you're a good communicator. I don't know if you really are a good communicator or not, but take advantage of the fact that he thinks you are to establish really good communications. Denise, yes, you can donate. It's on the page. I put my card and it's got my PayPal on it. But I can repost it. In fact, I should check to see whether I'm logged out. I want to stay logged in. So let's see. Where do I have? Okay. If you want to donate, my PayPal is ta-da. Hi, Raven. Why, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I get a lot of new subs every time I do these, and I appreciate it. And if you're just subbing so that you can see the next time I do one of these, that's great. But if you're interested in tarot or magic, I hope you'll look at the rest of my videos. Not a lot of people do, and I'd like to think that I have something to add to the magical conversation on YouTube. Priya, you see, good. Raven, will Mo be the one helping you get a car? Well, that's the most utilitarian question I have had all night. And in a way, that's kind of refreshing. Let me see. I almost want to do a yes or no on that, but that actually involves dealing so many cards that I'd want to charge for it. But the fact of the matter is, it's really, yes or no's are really good. It involves either getting to an ace or 13 cards, whichever happens first, in 3 separate piles. And aces are yeses, inverted aces are no's. But what's interesting is sometimes you get yes and no, or no yes, or a lot of yeses or a lot of no's. But Cards that aren't aces end up being telling you what actually you need to do in order to get the yes or the no. But what I get now is the Empress. And I would say yes, Mo will be the one helping get the car. The Empress is Venus. It's the lesser benefic of astrology. It's love. It's creativity. Yeah. Mo will be helping. Can you pretend we are in no contact? What's his actions towards me? I get the inverted 10 of coins. I suspect he's going to try and reach out to your family, but he's going to fail. You might want to put the word out to your family to keep an eye out for him. So that if you want him to be in touch with you, you can let them know that it's okay that he be in touch. You're welcome. And Radha, would my bro get a job in Toronto? Well, you know what? I actually live an hour's drive from Toronto, so it might be more than an hour. I live in Buffalo, New York, which is very close to Toronto. I get their TV stations. They get my TV stations. It's nice to talk to you, Radha. So your brother's like a neighbor. I get an 8 of wands. That isn't a sure thing that he's going to get the job in Toronto, but he's going to get interviews, and it's going to be up to him how he deals with the interviews. Interviews are the biggest deal, and he's definitely going to get those. Raven, you're welcome. Kenyaprita, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you too, Kenyaprita. Dennis, thank you so much, Dennis. I've done nothing for you so far, and the fact that you're donating is just a wonderful thing, and I appreciate it. And that's absolutely wonderful. Wow. So yeah, Celtic Cross. Ask a question, and I'll do a Celtic Cross for you. Sure. So Denise, you want a Celtic Cross on Vincent's current thoughts about you? You thinking about Vincent, the 10 of Swords. This is the second time this has come up as the person asking me for a Celtic Cross tonight. It suggests to me that you've kind of given up hope on Vincent, and I guess it's understandable. I mean, you come to a tarot reader because you feel like you don't know what's going on. However, what you're showing the world is justice. As far as he's concerned, he looks at you. He sees a balanced person. He doesn't see the insecurity that you're feeling. He sees you as being balanced. So you haven't expressed the insecurity to him. He sees the balance. Your obstacles, the King of Wands inverted. King of Wands is willpower, and I suggest that your insecurity at the moment is affecting your willpower. Like, this is a situation where you need to be present and focused in order to have what you want to happen. And the thing that's blocking you is your own doubts. Maybe it's about him, maybe it's about yourself, but your doubts are the problem. The best you can arrive at is the King of Cups. Cups are about emotion. Water is about emotion. It's about love. I get the impression that you want this to be about love. The thing about the King of Cups is that the King of Cups is balanced and in control about love. So it suggests that you will, in fact, be able to achieve a place of love and have a certain degree of control over it. Like, I know it sounds bad to say, ooh, a control freak, or you want to be in control of it, but this is your heart. This is your emotion. This is your love. You want to have a say in it. You don't want to just flow everywhere. You want to have some control. And I get the impression that you can have that. What you have to get there is the Princess of Cups. The Princess of Cups is more stereotypically female, more showing a more sensual aspect of yourself, showing the love, showing the emotion. It's not hiding the emotion. It's not trying to, seem nonchalant. It's letting him know how you feel. But there is a touch of the letting that be kind of sexy as part of the getting his attention and getting him to focus, which can lead you to getting into that position where maybe you have a bit more leverage, if that makes any sense. And I just want to take a second here to look and make sure that I'm not missing any feedback that you're giving me, because sometimes that makes a bit of difference, and a lot of people are talking, and so far sounds like yeah, I see where you say yeah, it sounds like we're making some sense. Okay, so the immediate past is the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles in a romantic relationship usually has to do with either money or sex. So you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I get and then we can focus on money. But I get the impression that you have a lot of chemistry, that you've had a lot of chemistry, that your relationship so far has been very physical, and that it's been very good about that. The future is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is good luck for everything except weight loss. This is like the third time I've said it tonight. Astrologically, it's Jupiter, which is considered the greater benefic. Very good luck. I would say the immediate future, the short-term future, the next couple of months maybe, looks really good. Things will be clean sailing. Things will be the same physically. The emotions will be good. Your environment is the Magician. There's going to be some manipulation going on. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's also communication. So the thing about communication is communication leads people to see things one way or another way. So it could be that this is all about communication. It could be that it's about manipulation. Either way, it seems to be a good thing for you, especially based on where it looks like the best you can be is where you've got a little bit more control. So it looks like you've got to keep your head about you, your wits about you, pay attention to everything that's going on, communicate, listen to what he says and understand it, say what you need to say, but say it in a way that's going to achieve a desired result, and things are going to be good. Influences on you, the Seven of Swords. And I'm sorry to keep bringing up manipulation here. I don't know that you're a manipulative person. I don't assume that you're a manipulative person. But this is, again, This is the night before a battle, and a guy sneaks into the camp and steals more than half the weapons, and one runs away and gives himself an advantage. It says to me that part of the way you approach this is that you're being intellectual about it, mental about it, and you're working out your advantages and playing a strategy. And in a lot of cases, I would say that might be a bad thing. You see manipulation as manifestation. I get that, and that looks to me like the influences on you are to do that, and that is, working out for you. Hopes and fears, strength. I'm going to say that's a hope. Esoterically, that's the subconscious controlling the animal nature. More exoterically, more fortune-telling wise, that's again suggesting that you're in control. However, you're a smart person. I can tell that you're a smart person. I would suggest to you that you realize that you have an advantage in this relationship based on the chemistry, and that based on your strategy and your desire to manifest, that you know that you can use that to your advantage, and that is currently your hope. I don't judge, but I think that you really do have something going for you in that arena. The Knight of Cups is the trump, which is the result of the whole reading. The Knight of Cups is out of control, emotional guy. I would say you're going to get this guy to be like madly in love with you. That's what I get. And I hope that might be the best love reading that I've given tonight. So, congratulations. And thank you for the donation, and I appreciate it. Let's see who I've missed. Oh gosh, we've had a lot of people since. Although I only see one person here now, so why go through and say what all these other people have said when there's only like you and me here, Denise? So if it's only you and me here, Denise, is there anything else you want to know? Since it's only you and me here, oh, looks like there's somebody else here. I hope nobody minds if I smoke. Littlefoot, how does he really view you? The Two of Coins. He thinks that you're smart and that you're a thinker, but he thinks that you're so lost in thought that you're really not seeing him. Doll. Oh, good to know you're still here, Doll. Why, thank you, Destiny. I appreciate it. How does Keegan feel about you? The Ace of Swords. As with the last reading, he thinks that you're very smart. He thinks that you know everything. He thinks that you're the person to go to if he needs to know something. Denise, does Vincent still care about you? I get Justice. It depends on what you mean by care. If you mean something romantic or something emotional, maybe not. But he still thinks that you're one of the most with it, balanced, knows what they're doing sort of person that he knows. You're welcome, Destiny. Rada, has R seen your Instagram posts? The Page of Pentacles, I'm going to say yes. Victoria, how did Al and Jeff think about Mia tonight? I think I answered that already. Hi, Sunshine. Why, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I urge you to actually watch the videos if you're interested in magic and tarot. I try to give insights and thoughts about it. Yes, there are these readings videos as well. And if you're just doing it so you get notified when I have these readings, that's great. But if you're interested in the art and science of tarot and magic, please look at the videos. I would love to get some feedback. Kenya Priya. Well, I thought there were only a couple of people left here, and now I see 7. And Kenya Priya, I see that you're still here. Do you, my friend, reaching out to me or my family? I don't think he knows my family. I see the 7 of Swords. I think that maybe he was looking at trying to find out more about you, and maybe knows more than you think he does. At least I hope so, because if you don't know how to get a hold of him and he doesn't know how to get a hold of you, the cards definitely show that you should be trying to get a hold of him, though. So maybe you need to be looking at, maybe if you have some idea about his family or have some friends in common that you can ask. If you know anybody close to him, I think you should be reaching out to him, and I think that you should maybe try and talk to these people about how to get in touch with them. Thank you, Denise. I thank you for the fact that you're talking to me and that you're here, and thank you. I enjoy this, and I hope that you're enjoying it, and I hope that it helps you. Victoria, this is about my sister now. Okay, I don't know what about your sister it is, so when I get down further, maybe I'll see a question from you. Divine Jewel, hi. May I ask a question? Yes, you may. Destiny. Wait, you're allowed to ask more than one question? Well, I'm just basically going Destiny on what's scrolling up past me. There's only 8 people here. There have been times when there have been less people here. There have been times when there have been more. I'm asking them as they come up. For more detailed readings, see my card attached about, emailing me and going in depth. I can get really in depth if people want to know every detail. Sunshine, why is your boyfriend behaving distance from you? I will ask the cards. I get the 3 of Wands. He's waiting for some sort of response from you. He did something, Sunshine, recently, which he expected a response from. And he hasn't gotten one yet. And he's waiting to see how you react. Divine Jewel, will you end up receiving or getting a BMW? Well, I don't know whether that's likely. The thing about magic and divination and things like this is that it should all be about something that seems relatively possible. Nonetheless, I get the Devil. The Devil is sometimes called the delusion of separateness. It suggests to me that maybe you're not connected to what your actualities in real life are at the moment. Radha, how R feels my posts? He is not my follower now. I have the Knight of Cups. They've sparked some sort of major emotion in him, but that doesn't say whether it's good or bad, just that he's really emotionally reacting. It's a powerful emotion. It's not just that he read them and said, "Oh, that's nice," or "Oh, that's Radha." There's a reaction, and it's big, but I don't know if that's good or bad. Destiny, does Keegan care about you? Hangman. Keegan feels like caring about you might be restrictive to him. Kanyupriya. Hello, Kanyupriya. Good to see you're still here. Victoria, how did Jeff and Al think about my sister tonight? I'm beginning to suspect that maybe. Let's see. Jeff thinks she's manipulative. Al thinks she's argumentative. Sunshine, he didn't do anything. Okay. Sweet Pea, why do people treat me the way they do? I socially feel offbeat. The King of Cups. I think maybe you wear your heart on your sleeve, which would suggest that your filters are off. What are your boyfriend's current feelings about you? I get the Eight of Cups. He feels that there's too much emotion there and that he needs to take a step back. Based on the last two pulls, I would suggest that maybe you can salvage something with the boyfriend, but you need to show a little more restraint, maybe not broadcast everything that you're feeling. I know it's dishonest. I know that it's restrictive. I know, but I also know that when you throw everything out at somebody, they can feel overwhelmed. And I hate to say it, folks, but I think I've got to get going now. I appreciate the fact that you've been here. I've enjoyed your company tonight. I've enjoyed working with you. And, if you haven't already, subscribe to be aware of when the next time I'm online is, or when I'm doing this online again. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you very much.